So it's about 11 o'clock, and I'm waking up feeling very stiff. Um, like one of those, like, you did too much exercise yesterday kind of feelings. I don't know. I at the very least feel awake, but I also feel like I've come down from the nicotine. If that that would be a hard idea to explain to somebody that's not a smoker, but there's a certain kind of perpetual high that you get from nicotine. It's the alertness, it's the stimulation, it's the stimulant properties, and so you're kind of always constantly just a little bit um, tense. You almost want to say because your blood's um, your heart actually isn't beating faster, but you are your blood vessels are open or wider. That's certainly true. But you're just constantly um, you feel it as a sort of tension. You feel it in your neck, and it might be partly why I'm sore today, I guess. Um, but um, when you stop, you all of a sudden, well, not all of a sudden, it takes a few days, but you start to feel kind of loose. Um, you feel kind of like spongy, and you can actually feel your body react to it. Um, you you change from this sort of like woodenness, where you are really like woody, and um, so you change from this sort of like woodenness to more of a Gumby, and like I kind of want to like hit a gymnastics class, with all the 12-year-olds, and see if I can compete. Um, I bet that after I've broken a few bones, I'll do just fine. So that's how I'm feeling today. This is the last day of cold. I think that I've got another day of vegging here. It's when it warms up a little, it'll be the good excuse to do laundry and take a shower, which is tomorrow. I do still have some uploading. I've caught up to the vlogs, but I want to upload up to next week just so that I don't have to worry about it for a little while longer. Um, and get to closing tabs and all those sorts of things. There's plenty of these kinds of things that I need to do that last me for the day. I also did get some munchies, as you can see here, or perhaps you can't see here. I can see here. I get enough uh, beta carotene, and where do I get my vitamin? I guess I get my vitamin A from my soy milk. Um, yeah, I got some munchies. So I this kind of perpetual kind of gnawing kind of hunger that comes from quitting smoking can be dealt with by that. I just need to make sure that I actually eat. On top of that, I don't want to go through the same process I went through the other day, where I got a bunch of bags of chips and I put them in my bowl, and then I just ate those for 4 days, and I forgot to eat. So I need to make sure I eat. These are not meals; they're snacks. Let us remember this as we move forward into the future. Um, I took my extra pill this morning at 8, although it was actually closer to 9, and it's time to take the other ones fairly shortly. Um, yeah, I'm not going to do a play-by-play today like I did yesterday. It's just going to be mostly sitting and vegging. And at least it's sitting and vegging in a clean apartment. Um, really waiting out the day. Um, I suspect that I'll be at. I'd say right now I'm at about 80%. I'd suspect that I'll be at about 95% by the end of the day, and I'll wake up fresh tomorrow. That's what I'm suspecting. We'll find out. So it's a little after 9. Um, my last vlog from yesterday is uploading, although it's on a publish later schedule, so that won't come up till next week. I think this is only my second part for the day. So this is a short day. I stopped to eat. This is my second meal for the day, and I am actually 2 days behind because of the pizza. So I may eat twice tomorrow too, and that's on top of the chips. So I definitely have enough food. That's so key to going through this process. I didn't finish my jug of juice today, but that's a lot of juice, so I may finish it tomorrow. And I think that chances are relatively high that I will get back to work tomorrow, although it may be late tomorrow after I do laundry. It's going to depend on a bunch of things. Not the least important of which is how late I'm actually awake tonight. And whether or not I actually get any sleep. I didn't really sleep yesterday. That's the thing. I mean, I did, but it was like something like 4 hours. And it was like half awake, half asleep. Kind of, and I've been like that all day. So I've kind of been in that sort of middle point of awake and asleep really since about this time yesterday. So I think at some point I'm going to need to actually sit down and get my full, 10 hours worth of sleep. And that when I wake up, I'm likely to be in relatively good shape to go. But it's not clear when that's going to happen. It didn't really happen at all. And like I said, that's unusual. Normally, when I go through this quitting smoking process, I just sleep for hours. It may be because I had something on my mind. I was focused on something, right? And I did. I mean, I have spent most of the last 3 or 4 days in bed, in one way or another. So, I'm just happy to get over this. I'm really not nicking that. Well, you do, and I'm sure I will when I sit down and I actually do something. As soon as I said I'm not nicking, like my neck started like shaking, right? So, I'm gonna give myself however much time I need for this. Let's take a walk back here, to before the vlog. There was time before vlog. Um, in that chasm of the past, in that abyss of the unknown, time before the vlog. I got my ODSP extended for 5 years in August. I think that, or was it September? I think that understanding kind of how I'm contemplating all of this stuff really kind of cycles a lot around that. So, about this time last year, I'm thinking I gotta quit smoking. In fact, even like way before that, I'm thinking I gotta quit smoking. But I know my ODSP is coming up, and if my ODSP fails, um, I'm probably going to expire myself. So, from that kind of thinking, what you're thinking to yourself is, well, what's the point of quitting smoking if I'm going to off myself in 3 weeks? Like, I might as well just keep smoking kind of thing. And so it's not until that ODSP comes up and they give me the 5 years that all of a sudden the logic aligns that, okay, now it makes sense to quit because I got 5, and then it's likely that that'll get renewed, right? So the logic aligns itself with the quitting, right? So that was in September or so. And since then, it's just been a process of trying to get my gear to work, right? And I just keep telling myself, and I mean, I did go through several points where like I'd quit for a few days, but then the gear comes back, and the gear fails, gear comes back, and it's this kind of whole process. Um, on top of that, I'm also psyching myself up because I really didn't have a lot of confidence in the idea that my ODSP was going to go through. So I'm not really expecting it to go through. I'm expecting, I'm planning around this, inevitable, expiration of myself, um, and everything is cycled around that. The transition, um, the non-smoking, the music. It's all based around this. Well, if I'm going to be dead in a few months, anyways, then who cares? Um, but I mean, it was at that point in August or September that I did, like, it was at that point that it did click, that I realized, okay, now it's time to quit. But again, psyching yourself up for that and getting over the. I kept thinking that it's going to be just another day. It's going to be just another day to finish the project. Just another day to finish the project. And you can see that when I did finally get the gear working, it was like 2 weeks to do it, right? And as soon as it was done, I'm done, right? So it's the fact that it took 4 months, or well, 4 months after the point of getting the renewal, and 6 months overall, is really secondary to. I mean, in the logical aspect, it's not important at all because it was just all about, if I can sit down and do it, then it is done, right? And I don't know that it's going to take 6 months to figure this out. I don't know that I have an interference, magnetic field in the neighborhood. I'm just thinking that my drivers are broken, or maybe I've got some piece of hardware that's not working right. So something that I can fix easily, right? And that once it's fixed, then I will be able to sit down for a few days and get through the project, right? So, I would have liked to quit smoking like months before the vlog started, and with serious intent, but um, it took me over a year to get this ODSP process worked out. That's the other thing. Like, it's not like it was a long process, Um, on top of that, so that dragged the whole thing out too, right? So this is a long, difficult road that I thought would end with my death, um, but didn't. So everything kind of switched over there, and all of the logic collapsed around that and rebuilt itself around this sort of kind of new start kind of thing. And like I say, this is, to me, it's gravy because I didn't plan on it, right? So um, just the point being that now I feel I have time. I'm not racing against anything. I mean, I am. Eventually, I've got 5 years, and who knows what happens after that. But it's a long time before I have to worry about that. So um, I'm really content with just getting off the stuff. If it takes me a month to DNIC to come down, then so be it. However long it takes. But that said, I do kind of get the idea that I'll probably be okay for tomorrow. I can finally get this laundry done. Finally take a shower. And it might be late, but I think I can probably finally get back to work tomorrow. We'll find out.